So that's the story I wanted to create. But the real question is, how do you actually turn an idea like this into a complete cinematic film? To find out, I searched for Pippit AI on Google and opened the platform to see what it could do. So let's see how far AI filmmaking can really go. After logging into Pippit, the first thing I did was open the AI image generation workflow and switch over to the built-in GPT Image 2 model. Right away, the interface felt super clean and beginner-friendly, which honestly makes the whole creative process much faster. Next, I changed the aspect ratio to cinematic widescreen, so the scenes would actually feel like a real epic cinematic journey, instead of random AI-generated images. This time, instead of generating isolated shots, I decided to create a connected fantasy cinematic story with a consistent hero, a legendary golden dragon, and a powerful dark titan across the entire storyboard. The story begins in the peaceful floating kingdom of Etheria, protected for centuries by a majestic golden dragon, whose power keeps light and balance across the realm. To keep everything visually consistent, I started by generating a few key reference images using GPT Image 2. These reference images helped define the main character, the environment, and the overall visual style of the project. Once those were ready, I used them as a foundation to generate a complete cinematic storyboard, covering the entire story from beginning to end. The characters looked consistent, the environment stayed connected, and the entire storyboard actually felt like frames from the same movie instead of separate AI images. Pippit is an AI agent that understands your vision and transforms your stories into compelling, engaging content. After generating the cinematic storyboard images, I moved over to Pippit's built-in video generator. And this is where the workflow became really impressive. I selected Seedance 2.0, which is designed to turn static images into smooth, cinematic video clips with realistic motion and dynamic camera movement. Then I switched the aspect ratio to widescreen cinematic format and uploaded one of the AI-generated storyboard scenes directly into the generator. What I really like here is that everything happens inside the same platform. Next, I added cinematic motion prompts, and honestly, the final result looked way better than I expected. Within seconds, the static storyboard image transformed into a dynamic movie-style scene with smooth motion, realistic atmosphere, cinematic energy, and character consistency that actually feels like part of a real, epic cinematic journey. After seeing the first result, I decided to convert all of the storyboard scenes into cinematic video clips one by one. Each scene was generated with Seedance 2.0, and the motion quality stayed surprisingly consistent across every shot. Some scenes showcase the peaceful kingdom of Etheria and the golden dragon soaring through the skies, while others featured the dark portal opening, the terrifying arrival of the Dark Titan, the destruction of the kingdom, the discovery of the Dragon Heart Temple, powerful magical training sequences, and massive fantasy battles. As the story progresses, Kale unlocks the power of the Dragon Heart Crystal, masters its energy, and prepares for the final confrontation against the Dark Titan and its Shadow Army. This is where Pippit really stands out. The entire storytelling workflow feels connected from start to finish. Instead of manually animating scenes or using multiple AI tools, I was able to generate cinematic clips directly from the storyboard images in just a few clicks. Once all the cinematic clips were generated, I moved everything into Pippit's built-in video editor to start building the final movie sequence. And this part honestly feels very similar to using a professional editor like CapCut, but everything is already integrated inside the same workflow. On the left side, you can see all the generated assets organized in the media panel, including fantasy environments, magical sequences, cinematic battles, dragon scenes, character moments, action shots, and atmosphere effects generated earlier in the process. This makes the editing process much faster because all your AI-generated content is already available inside the editor without needing to manually transfer files between different software. From here, I simply started arranging the scenes on the timeline, trimming clips, matching transitions, building tension, and pacing the story scene by scene like a real fantasy movie trailer. The final battle sequence between Kale and the Dark Titan ended up looking surprisingly cinematic with dramatic lighting, magical energy clashes, fast-paced action, and blockbuster-style camera angles. And honestly, the workflow feels incredibly smooth for creating cinematic storytelling content entirely with AI tools inside a single platform. Once the entire cinematic sequence was finished, the final step was exporting the project directly from Pippit's built-in editor. What's nice here is that you can fully customize the export settings, including resolution, frame rate, video quality, and format, all inside the same platform. Alright, so that was the full cinematic AI filmmaking workflow inside Pippit, from generating connected storyboard images to creating cinematic AI video clips and editing the final movie-style sequence. Honestly, having everything inside one platform makes the entire filmmaking process much faster, easier, and more creative for content creators. If you're into AI filmmaking, fantasy storytelling, cinematic short films, epic battles, dragons, magical worlds, or movie trailer creation, then Pippit with GPT Image 2 and Seedance 2.0 is definitely worth checking out. The link is in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on what AI project I should create next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.